This is Will Aubrey from Murray Sportsnet, and my buddy Jeremy Bell joins me now, and Jeremy's the voice of the Murray High Tigers. Jeremy, the Tigers have struggled a little, but primarily I think it's because that you all have played very tough teams so far. You get Marshall County this week, and they're not as tough perhaps as some of the teams that you all have played, but they're not a pushover by any means.
No, I don't think so. We have struggled. We've struggled scoring the ball, and I think that to a small degree we're just kind of looking for our identity a little bit. I think also what we've had in years past we just don't have on this year's team. What we were counting on with Andrew Pager was he was going to be the guy that was going to be our speed. He was going to be that big back. Much like we've had in years past when we've had guys like Dylan Boone, guys like DeJavante Miles, and I could go back, Matt Deason, some of those guys who were fast, who were big, who were able to muscle their way through, a line, a defensive line, and we just don't have that this year. We just don't have the speed like we've had in the past. With a running back who had some speed, who can maybe get to the outside or who could hit that hole a little bit quicker, you can kind of look away from maybe some of the deficiencies that we may have that get better and better as the year goes on. But I think right now we're just kind of searching for an identity, and it's just one of those years where we just don't have the pieces, some of the pieces that we need to fit in place. And I think that's what they're searching for right now. And obviously with Marshall County, they're better than what they used to be. I know that. I really thought that Callaway County would go there and win on last Friday night, but I know injuries, of which we've had to deal with injuries this year. That kind of hurt the chances. But I know, Will, that it's going to be a tough contest. It's not going to get easy, but our guys want to win. They need a win right now for morale purposes.
Well, the game between Marshall and Callaway, you mentioned injuries, and they certainly played a factor in that game. But one thing that really impressed me was the way that Marshall County game planned for Callaway. The adjustments that they made going into that game played a major role. I mean, one thing that Callaway had done effectively against teams this year was get pressure from the edges, and Marshall County let Callaway do that, and then they ran inside Callaway's pressure, and they were very effective in doing that. So, they're a well-coached football team, and one thing that you've got to stop the run, or they're going to give you fits.
Yeah, last week Hopkinsville, and you mentioned, Hopkinsville's a good football team. I'll just tell you right now, Clayton Central, they are a very good football team. Their guys on the edge. Their guys on the edge were very fast, very big, big up front. We did have a little bit of trouble running the football. We turned it over 3 times, which we've had that mantra of late, of turning the ball over. We turned it over 3 times, which led, by the way, to 3 touchdowns. A 42, 43-7 score, it might have been you take away those 3 touchdowns, it might have been a little bit easier to swallow. But the one thing I know that we've done the last couple of weeks is we've tried to change our offensive and defensive lines. And, Will, that's one of the things that we have tried to do, and that is to try to stop, to make sure that we contain that run. Our goal last week was to keep, Hopkinsville inside the tackles, to make sure that they ran the ball up the middle, because we knew if they got to the outside, we'd be in trouble. And so we made some changes. We've even gone back and made more changes this week on our offensive line to be able to get some holes open for guys like Michael Parks and some other guys. I know you're hear a name this week, Jalen Jackson. You're going to hear that name. He's going to be running the football for us a little bit. So we're trying to make the changes to try to get that identity. I just hope that we don't make too many changes and mess up the team. We gotta find a win somewhere, and I hope this week with some of the changes that have been made, we can throw Marshall off a little bit, and hopefully we can stop their run, because we have tried to make these changes, and hopefully we can do that as well.
Who do you think needs to have a big game for Murray?
For me, I think it's going to be either Parks or Jackson. One of those guys. The Jackson kid is a freshman. That's Jonathan Jackson's brother, who is a football player for State. Remember him over at Mayfield on their championship team? That's his brother. I think really he needs to come out and carry the football well. Michael Parks needs to have a football game where he doesn't fumble. He struggled with that of late. I know that really gets him down. I think those are the two. Hunter Utley's going to be back. We're going to go to more of that traditional Murray High running the football out of the eye with him under center. I think those three kids need to have good games. If we're able to run the football against Marshall County, I believe we can win the game. But it's going to come from those three guys right there, I believe, that are going to have the games that we need.